The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has declared the shortage of nurses a national crisis. Historically, the U.S. has relied on the gaps with foreign nurses, but anti-immigration rhetoric has changed all that.
A nationwide nursing shortage intensified by the COVID-19 pandemic is now hitting close to home.
More than 3 years since the start of the pandemic, there are still long waiting times at both hospitals and for in-home care.
An estimated 100,000 registered nurses left the workforce during the past 2 years, citing stress, burnout, and retirements. According to the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, 600,000 more are expected to leave by 2027. Historically, the U.S. has recruited foreign nurses to help fill the gap, but that pipeline has reached its limits.
To bring in a bedside nurse or standard RN into the country is very difficult. It can take several years to complete, and there are obviously thousands of Americans in need of health care at hospitals.
Rio Guerrero, an immigration lawyer, explained the complicated process to immigrate legally to America. Despite the need for medical health professionals, nurses in countries like the Philippines, China, and India have to wait years for their visa appointments.
So when you apply for a visa, such as nurses who are applying for these EB-3 immigrant visas, there's only a certain number of visas allotted for the entire world to come each year on these visas. And there is a per country limit for each one of these visas. Some countries tend to apply for more visas than others, including India, the Philippines, China. And so the wait really occurs because the visa isn't available. There are too many applicants.
One solution is to raise the caps. In 2023, Illinois Senator Richard Durbin introduced a bill that would raise the visa allotments for nurses and physicians, but the bill stalled. Guerrero says illegal immigration, a hot-button political topic, has made much-needed bills like this one hard to pass.
It's very difficult to get through all of the noise about the border. Everyone today talks about the border and what we call unlawful immigration, or what is deemed unlawful immigration. But the need for legal immigration in particular sectors of our country, such as healthcare, is necessary and not being served properly by the law.
In the meantime, schools in New York are stepping up, working to fill the gap by expanding their nursing programs. Estee Lauder heir Leonard Lauder donated a record $52 million to Hunter College's nursing program. And Lehman College in the Bronx recently opened the doors to a new 52,000 square foot, $95 million nursing training center. Dean El Gloria Harrison gave us an inside look at the state-of-the-art facilities, which includes 22 robotic patient simulators. The school looks just like a real hospital, from the maternity ward to the ICU.
All of the rooms in ICU are equipped with monitors, and so their heart rates and their respiratory rates and their blood pressures, all of those things would actually be monitored, and students would actually understand what it was like when they are in an ICU setting.
The idea behind simulators is to ease students from the classroom to the workplace, a workplace ready to hire.
We have an acute shortage all over New York City and New York State of health professionals that look like most of the New Yorkers that we are and understand our communities.
New York is expected to have a shortage of nearly 40,000 nurses by 2030. Underrepresented communities like the Bronx will be particularly hard hit. CUNY produces nearly half of New York's new nurses annually. 70% of the graduates come from historically underserved groups. Ruqayya Moore, who immigrated to the U.S. from Bangladesh, looks forward to giving back. She decided to pursue a career in health after nurses advocated for her when her twin babies were born prematurely.
The nurse advocate for me and the nurse advocate for my kids. So the whole that story really inspired me. Okay, one day I will get back these two things to other families who need me. Like I need the nurses. So from that point, I choose that, okay, I will be the nurse and I will be the pediatric nurse.
While programs like Lehman's will certainly help fill the need for nurses, experts say it's still not enough. According to one study, the U.S. will need to hire 2.3 million new healthcare workers by 2025 in order to care for its aging population.
The best way to solve this really is not just to educate those here in the United States to become nurses, but also to bring over the talent from overseas. And this is what this country has done for years in other industries, and they should be doing it now for healthcare workers.
For Asian American Life, I'm Ernabelle DeMillo.